Poets say science takes away from the beauty of the stars, mere globs of gas atoms. I, too, can see the stars on a desert night and feel them. But do I see less or more? Richard Feynman. When I think of the greatest good of which I can conceive, I see Gandalf there. Instead of him holding his sword like a battle mage, he's wielding the sword of Shannara, the magical talisman that by merely touching the skin burns away all the untruths, all the masks we erect in order to disguise ourselves and hide from our fears and insecurities. He burns it away so all that is left of me is that which I know to be me, my core, something I can build upon so I'm not just dead weight walking around. He burns away all the ideas that people give me, and I share without ever inspecting if they make sense or even if I actually do believe them. I hear them, I share them. He burns them away unless I can defend the proposition that I actually believe these ideas. Once they're burned away, what is left is nothing more than an old hippie wizard who's aged and weather-bent, whose primary purpose in life is to visit those who have the warmest hearts, those who love to live life and express gratitude in even the most simple of life's pleasures, those who walk around grateful to be alive and share that love, those who, when interacting with, you can't help but walk away from them feeling like you're a better person because of it. This is who I think of when I think of secular Jesus. Gandalf, much like in the Two Towers, where a brilliant and magnificent light blinded the heroes who were left from the dissolved Fellowship of the Ring, blinded by the brilliance that leads to their utter salvation based upon love, acceptance, and stern meekness. Many people see meekness in the Bible based upon a 21st century understanding. Meekness, as relayed in the Bible, to my understanding, are those who grit and bear their cross and push forward anyway. Those who make the noble sacrifice of never quitting just because life gets tough. Those who persist. Those are who will inherit the earth. That's who Jesus said would. Not those who allow themselves to become bewildered at the slightest provocation or to scream at others who have a different political opinion, but those who can accept that their neighbors are human and love them because of that. Those who understand that for all of us to be created in the image of God means that when we interact with each other, we are interacting with divinity. Do we act like divine creatures? Do we act like we're worthy of divine providence? Divinity demands that you make the noble sacrifice. Cain and Abel, for me, is the most meaningful story in the Bible. Not because I believe a man murdered his brother who made him embarrassed, but as a story as old as time. A story about a Cain and Abel that lives in the heart of every man and woman. The Cain who tells the world to go to hell. The one who demands, I have sacrificed enough. The world should take me as I am. Or the Abel, the one who was a shepherd, someone who was expected to guard sheep from lions. The noble and gentle warrior that murders lions with small rocks. For the beautiful expression of protecting that which is most important, the flock. This man, this Abel, looks at the world and understands that if his results are not what he is seeking, there's more sacrificing to be made, to meekly push forward despite opposition. There is no non-sacrifice alternative to life. You either sacrifice and stay where you are, or you sacrifice and invest in yourself and your future. Your future extends to your legacy. Divine legacy then being our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. How much better to make the worthy sacrifice. Assume if our results are not what we want, then we are the problem, because if we are the problem, that means that we have the power to be the solution. We are empowered through Christ our Savior, Christ that makes us safe. We are empowered to give the noble sacrifice, the worthy sacrifice, and bear our cross, our burden, and meekly, with determination and grit, we drive on. I dare say the religious would say that secularism takes away from spirituality and higher ideals. I too am secular. I too feel the presence of the divine when my heart and voice are quieted on a desert night. Do I feel and see less or more? The opposite of a correct statement is a false statement, but the opposite of a profound truth may well be another profound truth. Niels Bohr. I say this in Jesus' name. Amen.
What can I say?
So my name is Corey Cheney.
Hello, my name's Eric.
Hi, this is Michael, and I just finished up with a session with Josh.
Hey, just finished a guided meditation with Joshua Cameron.
Hi, my name is Nate. I just finished a guided meditation with Josh Cameron.
We just finished a meditation session with Joshua Cameron.
I just had a healing meditation with Joshua.
In this video, I want to share my experience working with Josh.
I love you, Josh. I am so grateful for the gift of the personalized guided meditation you just took me on.
I found it really comforting. The sound of his voice is very soothing.
I just received a really nice gift from Josh Cameron, a healing meditation.
I was doing a couples meditation with my wife. It was amazing.
I can say that I was just blown away.
It was just so wonderful.
Josh has a phenomenal way of helping you tap within the deepest parts of yourself.
It was very enlightening.
And I really want to thank Josh.
Thanks, Josh. I really appreciate you.
I would definitely do it again. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Try it. Contact Josh. He has a real talent for healing meditation.
Yeah, man. Josh, thank you so much. You are amazing. Thank you.
He'll definitely help you out if you give him the opportunity, and I can't recommend him enough.
Thank you, Josh.
Really was profound and powerful, and I really recommend everyone to give it a shot.
We're really grateful for that.
Continue the good work, my friend. You're doing it. Peace.
Hello. So that was a video that I created, right? That Gandalf one, because I'm a nerd and because I love things that are nerdy. And some of the greatest philosophy that's led me to where I am has been from looking at cinema and philosophy, The Matrix, for instance, right? It's got philosophers, Cornel West, Ken Wilber, and they trade ideas that transcend the medium itself to go into everyday life. Gandalf is a direct parallel to Christ. I mean, that was why Tolkien wrote Gandalf, or really the major influence there, I should say, not necessarily why. And so fascinating. And when you allow yourself to imagine and not just follow rules for the sake of rules, not just listen to what other people have to say because you are so uncertain of your own voice, and you're so uncertain that you just listen to what everyone else says about you and tells you that you should do, and you follow it. Well, what happens if you create your own rules? Well, come to find out, if you do that, you start to tap into the deepest parts of who you are. Well, if we're all created in the image of God, well, maybe not just a 5-star, right? The head, 2 arms, and 2 legs, but the soul. And so the soul truly can tap into the limitless potential. And the masters that have influenced more people across time with these massive influences have always said to go inside. And yet Western religion has us critique them as if we're somebody, right? Coming up through school, like we've never even had the discipline to do near a fraction of what they've done. And here we are critiquing them, when what we should be doing is looking at what they did and reverse engineer it and follow the logical conclusion from where they are back. Because when I did that, I found myself. And by doing that, it led me to a man by the name of Ed Stracher, who then taught me how to spiritually heal people. oh my God, the mystics aren't full of shit. Oh my God, the people who burned witches at the stake and said that everything that's not what I say is heresy and witchcraft, they were full of shit. What? Here's my Pikachu surprise face. And so not allowing people to then tell me what Jesus means to me, because people will. If you say, hey, I actually think Jesus was a cool guy, what about what Christianity's done over there? Well, I didn't say I like religion. In fact, I'm nearly certain that had I followed rules for rules' sake and followed a dogma, I wouldn't have been gifted the gifts that I've been gifted. And if you give yourself the permission to go inside, usually that won't happen until a catastrophe, right? Because all the walls that we erect around ourselves usually don't fall until everything burns around us. And when those walls fall and are eradicated, you'll actually find that they never even protected you in the first place. The only thing they did is block your connection to heaven and earth. The only things that matter, right? Every physicist will tell you that an atom from this finger, is going to be a completely different atom from across the universe as an atom in this finger, from different stars. And so we already know that we're made up of star stuff. Water, right? My water bottle full of water, I mean, this is star juice. And modern physics now basically is saying that most likely we live in some level of virtual reality. Theoretical physics can prove the existence of 11 dimensions when you include time. And I mean, Einstein figured out the theory of relativity, right? By looking at a clock, bored out of his mind with a pencil, as my understanding, please correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at a pencil, looking at a clock, bored as hell in school, because school is boring, and wondering what it would be like to go faster than the speed of light on that pencil. And you know what? That clock started going backwards. Well, when I had a vision, it was just a podium. And everything a picture's worth 1,000 words, yeah? Well, your heart deals in words. Pictures. Your heart deals in pictures. Your mind deals in words. So if your mind is sifting through 1,000 words, while your heart has already received the full picture. Well, when we're stuck in here, well, then we're missing everything. I mean, every data analyst, every director that deals with data will tell you that you've got to quiet the noise to increase the signal, right? Physicists tell you the same thing. So when you quiet the noise, you increase the signal, well, you get those pictures. Those pictures will then, you'll find this is what it means to be inspired, right, by heaven. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to muck it up, right? I might have a stupid translation and then I try it like, oh, well, that was stupid. And it's like, oh, that's what I missed, right? Because I'm still human. And that's my saying, right? In order to be good, we first have to learn how to do good. Because, like my homie, Jordan Peterson, and not for real, I wish I wish we were homies, but, right. He talks about that. And he talks about how you get objective feedback when you interact in the world and don't be afraid of failure. And he also told me to create my greatest idea of goodness of which I can conceive of and then make myself worthy of it. And I did. And when I did, again, I met Ed Stracher, got magical abilities, and I've got testimonials for days now of people not just recommending my services, but just talking about the benefits, healing arthritis, lifting their energy down and just anxious and depressed and worried about the future to vibrant, to feeling like they could just tackle the world. And like, how do you make arthritis in a Navy SEAL go away in just 45 minutes to an hour without some level of magic? But again, a lot of wisdom is in our face, right? Thor even used it. I think it was the first Thor. Magic is just science that you don't understand. Physics. That's it. Aristotle says the mark of an intelligent mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Hey, if you're sick and you can't shake it, right, because you're not at ease, you're at a state of dis-ease, you got anxiety, depression, and when you take a pill, then you have to take another pill to combat the side effects of that one, and then your sexual drive is completely hammered and dead, and you're a zombie, and you're not even yourself. I mean, is that really life? You find yourself sacrificing in order to make your job better because you see no self-worth. Your self-talk is terrible at best. You can't get past a miserable childhood. Somebody said something to you when you were 12 or 7. Here you are in your midlife, and it still haunts you. It's the mark of an intelligent mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Hey, reach out, entertain, let's talk, see what you got. And look, I'm going to be building out this podcast, and I really want to serve. Right, I was a bit of a jackass when I was trying to serve in political activism, and that happens. Unfortunately, in political activism, it's just so toxic that you get to a point where it seems like the only thing that works is screaming, because that's all the news will report on. So that must be what works. No, that's just what makes things worse, in order for the news then to make a lot more money, and for you to lose your soul in the process. So if you want to reclaim your life, you actually want to have a future to believe in. You want to give that gift to your kids instead of a constant state of panic, fear, anxiety, worry about the future, COVID, lockdowns. Hell, if you have a COVID injury, whether from COVID or even just from the vaccine, I can help. This isn't medicine. This is so much more. Because medicine is always, here's a pill that treats your body as if it's completely independent. But again, let's go back to what the master said, right? The Taoists, right? That which you can't take yourself out of or remove yourself from, well, that's the Tao. And that's the harmony of everything, every complex system that harmonizes itself. And if you take one cog out of a system built on cogs, interrelationships, well, that means that pretty soon there's gonna be a bunch of stuff not working. Which is why if you take an anti-anxiety pill, you often have to take an antipsychotic. Imagine that. Imagine that. Let's get you healed.
Hey everybody, I'm here to give my testimony about Josh. For a while now, I've been suffering some pretty significant arthritic pain. It's prevented me from being able to go to the gym, exercise, things like that. So it's had a significant impact on my life. I have one session with Josh, and he was able to open up those pathways of healing and connection to the universe, where I'm on my 3rd day at the gym, pain-free, able to do what I've been used to do, throwing up some of that weight, and it's been phenomenal. And it's made a significant impact, positive impact on my life. He's also not just able to open up those pathways of healing, but also clarity in some of the purpose and direction that I needed to take my life with work and some other things. And I was able to open up that, kind of those pathways to help me understand, what I needed to do to continue to move forward, to bring myself to the best place possible for me, myself, and my family. If you haven't had a chance to work with Josh, say book a session with him now if you haven't already. Book a session, experience what he has to offer, and your life will be better for it.